So, welcome everybody. Welcome to my masterclass where we're going to talk about boss moves for federal women leaders. And really, what I want everybody to know is that, we're going to learn how you can really thrive with an online service business without sacrificing your retirement, without quitting your 9 to 5. You can do this, ladies. I'm telling you. And tonight, we're going to get into it a little bit. Is that okay with everybody? So really, who is this for? So this webinar is really for federal women leaders who want to monetize what they already know, not necessarily gathering a new skill. Maybe you have to add something to it, but not necessarily gathering a whole new skill because you already know what you know. And this webinar is for those who really want to learn how to create multiple streams of income and maintain your benefits and look for like proven systems and ways to scale your business without all the burnout that's associated with it. Believe it or not. So you deserve, this is also for those who feel like they deserve financial freedom and the flexibility to really retire how you want to. And lastly, you need to be coachable and action oriented. You need to be one of those persons who really just jump in it and get to it. Who is this not for? If you're kind of looking for that quick, rich scheme, get rich quick scheme, and not willing to put in the work, this is not going to work for you. If you're not really open to learning or following a process, this is probably really not going to work for you. If you just want to rely on your 9 to 5 and forget about like exploring other ways where you can build income, this is probably also not for you. And if you're truly not willing to bet on yourself and leverage what you already have, this won't work for you. And lastly, if you prefer to just really stay in your comfort zone rather than take action, you're going to have a really hard time. That's who it's not for. So my goal with the masterclass tonight is really help you learn how do I monetize my federal expertise? How do I do it effectively? How do I create wealth and legacy while maintaining what I'm already doing? And how to position myself to retire really on my own terms, whether I want to do that early or I want to wait until it's time for me to retire. So first, I just want to tell you guys a little bit about me. So I am Daisy, and I spent the very first part of my adult life in the military. And I want to bring you guys' attention to me down here in the uniform. And why I'm so intently reading this note is I was in what they call NCO school. And we were going through the class, and whoever had the highest score, you get awarded. And so everybody was like bucking for that award. You at least wanted to be a distinguished grad. So I'm reading this, and the top 3 people are like awarded this. And I open my letter, and I'm number 4. And I'm so disappointed and pissed off, but I got to go through this graduation like it doesn't matter, knowing I really didn't get what I want, but I didn't give up and I didn't allow it to make me quit. And then, as you see to my left here, this is my family. We're a blended family. We got together. We both had children. As you can see, I'm kind of holding mine. You saw it holding his. We're new in the marriage. We're kind of guessing at it right now. And my stepdaughter, she's graduating from high school. And it's such a beautiful moment, but it also had challenges to it trying to merge a family. So I say all that to say is that you have to learn like grit along the way. And then as I went on, I spent a lot of time sort of not really pushing my career that far. And then something happened after 50, and I was like, I'm just going to jump in. I'm just going to do this. And so what you see there in the middle is that my husband and I jumped into this sort of real estate game, and it was a dare from a friend of mine. She sort of said, kind of challenged us and said, I dare you guys to like jump into it. And we did. And before we knew it, we had built this really nice portfolio of real estate, and we were like, wow, we did that. And so it wasn't as scary as we thought it was. And then I decided I'm just going to go all in on me. I'm just going to push this, all the things I ever wanted to do. And so what you see here on the right is the anatomy of abundance. I had the opportunity to be one of the writers in this particular book. And I wrote my story, first time I've ever written my story from beginning to end, in this book. And I talk about how to honor your story. And so if you get a chance, it's on the Amazon, you can pick it up. And then the young lady at the top, this is a new magazine. It was called Becoming Her Magazine. And it was Juneteenth, and they were new, and they were featuring all these new entrepreneurs in it. And I had the opportunity to do that. And so really, when I reflect back on who I am, I say, oh, wow, I'm starting to live my best life out loud. And so I'm just really proud of myself of that. And I hope you're doing that too. I would love to help you do that. So what can I really bring federal women? So really, myself, as a federal leader myself, I used to be, I didn't even think about it. I used to be a transition assistant manager in what they call the Airmen and Family Readiness Center. And I didn't realize that I helped so many military people transition out into what they were going to do next. And I never really thought, wow, you could really do that for government service people too. And so one of the things I do, that you don't have to explain yourself to me. I know what you're going through. I know what's happening. I know what you're up against. And so I'm just here to be part of your guide, to help guide you through navigating what everything is happening, and to help you pull out your zone of genius so you can really give what the market has. Because just like a lot of active duty members didn't understand their transferable skills and what they really had to offer, so do a lot of federal employees don't understand that. And so we take a really good look at that and help you pull out your genius. So what was my challenge that stopped me dead in my tracks in the beginning? Y'all, I had the shiny object syndrome. I am that person. I did Mary Kay. I sold them candles. I had a whole wellness brand, making products, doing the thing, right? I was just doing a lot of things, but it really wasn't in my zone of genius. And so in 2022, after COVID, something like changed in me. One, I got to work from home and I got to think. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna really go in and I'm gonna grow this part of me that I've really been kind of struggling with. And so I joined this mastermind. I got all these tools. I took all these courses. And I was just all over the place trying to get this breakthrough. And what I realized is I was just sort of all over the place, paying a lot of money, doing a lot of things. And I just really didn't have a clear strategy or really good focus of how I was going to do what I was going to do. And I went back to the fundamentals. If you all have been in the military, around the military, what's the fundamentals? You learn the fundamentals in basic training. So I went back to the fundamentals and I was like, what I really need is the foundation. And so once I really realized I needed the foundation, what did I do? Just like you have what we call a TI or someone to guide you through, I realized I needed a coach. That is the start of having the fundamental step-by-step of what you really need to really succeed in a successful online service business. And when I say successful online service business, I'm talking about coaching and consulting. And so once I had a coach, I really could understand the foundation of how all online service businesses are built. And I fell in love with that because I'm the person who loves the underdog, and I go, oh, I understand this. Now 67% of businesses don't have to fail because they can understand how to grow their business from zero to $100,000 just by understanding the fundamentals. Oh, I fell in love with that and I ran with it. And so how do I leverage what I have now? I leverage all of that stuff that I learned in the Air Force. I leverage all of that stuff I used to teach with resiliency and airmen and well-being and lots of things I used to do with peak performance with airmen within the Air Force. I leverage all of those things and bring that into businesses and teach others how to overcome those business challenges that they may have within their business. So you can skip all that stuff I did by taking all these mastermind and courses and et cetera, et cetera. And by the end of this class, we'll talk about how you monetize it, how do you create freedom and legacy, and how do you build that strong foundation. So let's get started. But before I do, I just want to take just a moment for you to really understand this is really your time. There's no better time than right now for you to really understand what you have and where you need to go and how you need to make room for yourself. And so I really just quickly want to really get you guys to realize that this is your moment. This is where you reclaim your power. This is where you reclaim your brilliance. This is where you use your federal government as your supporting, as a support to you. This is where you put all of it to work and decide how you want to do the second half. So if you would just imagine these things, waking up every day knowing you're building a legacy that's meaningful to you, where you're just experiencing financial freedom and you knowing your work aligns with your purpose. What about having the ability to just travel whenever you want, wherever you want, without waking up to an alarm and kind of designing your day just like you want it? How about choosing how much you really want to work? Or if you want to even work at all, because there's lots of ways to skin a cat, as my mom would say. And so just imagine all of that for yourself, your life, your way, the way you envision it. How would you feel? Would it make a difference? If it would make a difference, just type yes in the chat. If you could really just wake up to that, your perfect life just like you wanted. If you could really just have the financial freedom, time, and resources just to live life on your own terms. That is so great. I see a lot of yes in the chats, and that's wonderful. I feel the same way. Well, let me tell you what you don't need. You don't need to create these elaborate business plans. I know, they tell you do. You really don't need business credit. I know, they tell you do. You don't need to spend months and months perfecting every detail, trying to make money. And you don't need this massive audience on platforms, at least not right away. You don't need these fancy websites and brandings and just look polished. You're just doing all the things. And you really don't need to be an expert in marketing. I'm not, and I'm doing just fine. And you don't have to hustle 16, 24 hours a day just to get it all done. And God forbid, you don't need to run all these paid ads to generate money. So what do you need? What do I know is possible? As soon as I developed my boss foundational model to tell you what you do, within 6 months, I had made my first $20,000 just following this simple, proven system. Simple thing that everyone needs, that every business is really built on. So why does it work? Because you're scaling in increments and it's simple and it's effective business practices. And you are really attracting clients using this. And it's what every online service business starts with. Every online service business. So why don't we know all of that? Well, let's jump in. Let's talk about the proven system and let's talk about the 3 keys, the 3 secrets to this. So the first secret you kind of need to understand is you can use your corporate skill to build a 6-figure business. Yes, all the things that you already know. You don't need that elaborate business plan, become an expert in something else. You can build what you got with the people that already know you. That's why you don't need a big audience to get clients, because you already have a network. And those of us who've been in the military or around military, you have a huge network. So you don't need a huge audience online to get your first client. I'm going to show you that. And you can use your 9 to 5 to help actually grow your business faster. Why? Because you can have the time to dedicate to it. And then you also do not have to feel like that you have to just be desperate and make money any sort of way. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So what do you normally see out here? And I know you guys see it. You have these people online who are teaching you all these pieces. One person over here, I could teach you Facebook ads. I could teach you how to do content. I could teach you how to do marketing. I could teach you how to do this and that. Well, what they're doing is just teaching the piece that they are really good at, but they don't teach you how to put all the pieces together. And so you keep coming back and you're confused and you're like, whoa, what is happening here? So what they're not really teaching you is the foundation. They're not teaching a foundational system of what you need and how you need to grow it. They're just teaching you the piece that they're really good at. And what do they teach you in school? In school, they're just teaching you how to do these elaborate business plans, and you research it to death. And by the time you figure it out when you go to college and schools and stuff, that market is gone. It's stale. That ship has gone away. What you really have to do is just sort of bet on yourself, which we are not used to, because we're used to betting on someone else's model, what someone else dreams and system, not really what we made up for ourselves. We're used to betting on what others are doing. So what we really need to do is just bet on ourselves and package what we have. That's what we really need to do. So again, leverage your corporate skills to build your six-figure business. You don't need those elaborate plans that you paid someone else to write, or you've been writing for 6 months, and by the time you're done, you research some more, the market has moved. You really just need to bet on what you've done. So what I've seen with some people is like, that job was so traumatic that I don't want anything else to do with it. So what I always tell people is you can divorce the trauma, but bring them skills with you so you can do something with those skills that you have. You don't have to take all of that stuff that may have been aligned with that particular place that you work, but you can bring those things with you. So how do you build? How do you monetize your skills? This is the system we use. It's a boss method system. So what do? We first help you create your niche. What is it that you're good at? What is it that God put you on here on earth for? And what is it the market is looking for? And how do you get that sweet spot of what that is? So that's the first thing that we do. And it's so engaging, and it brings so much clarity to people when they go, oh, this is what I'm really good at. This is what I feel like God has put me here for. And this is where what the market needs, and this is where it collides. And that's your sweet spot. And that is the niche you start with, and that's your why. And that's why you'll never leave it once you do it. Then you take a look at, okay, well, what am I going to offer these people now that I know what I'm meant to give? Now that I have my purpose-driven business, what am I going to offer them? So what problem am I going to solve for them? Not like a vitamin problem, but like a pain problem, like my head really hurts. What am I going to offer them that they really need to solve what they want? And then how am I going to take now my special sauce, all that stuff I've learned along the way, and create a process or framework to offer it to them? Maybe I create a process or framework, and then I decide to offer it as a course. Maybe I decide to offer it as a class. However I'm going to offer it to them, I create the framework around that. And we do a lot of intensive work to help you create that framework, your secret sauce. That's what you trademark, your secret sauce. So then you take a look at, okay, how do I sell it to them? How do I market it to them? How do I sell it to them? And then how do I automate that so I can start getting freedom back of my time? That, my friend, is how you learn how to monetize what you already have. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to copy anyone else. You don't have to do all this elaborate thing. You just need to follow this method. These are people who've been in my world, who really have embraced the Boss Foundation model, and they've gotten really good results from it. So these are just some of the people. So I had one mompreneur, and she said to me, well, actually, Joyce, she says to me, is that thanks for the program. I came in thinking I was going to do the same basic coaching others offer. You provided value, insight, and bonuses that gave me the confidence to preserve. The one-on-one session was gem for my business. So lots of good things that people are doing in there. And I had Star come in, and she was able to she did an event, and she was able to actually collaborate with one of the people that she really was admiring. She was able to collaborate on a business just because she decided to put herself out there and follow this method. So what's the second thing? You don't need a big audience online to get client. Why? Because you really have a network, and we help you look at your network, put that network together, put that network in place of all those people you learn along the way, and get your very first 5 clients from it. And so what I created is, and for those of you who are looking to get your first 5 clients, you might say, you might want to take a picture of this. This is how you get your first 5 clients. This is the exercise, one of the exercises, this is a gem I'm dropping that we do inside of my program to help you get your first 5 clients. Because what it's basically saying is that most of us have at least 2,000 contacts that we already have between our phone, between email, between social, etc. We get all those contacts together, create a spreadsheet, and then we methodically and systematically start contacting these individuals and use this strategy to sell to them. So what we know is statistically, especially when we are offering high-end offers, like what we help you create, because your skills are very valuable, you only need 1 to 2% of that 2,000 people you know to convert, and which is 10 to 20 clients. And most people who get 10 to 20 clients replace their income. So it's pretty easy to be able to do that once you follow the system and you really stay with it. So those of you who want a picture of that, that's a gem for you. It's how to get your first 5 clients. So the third thing here is you use your 9 to 5 as a springboard. So you sell what you already know, so you can begin that side hustle while you're full-time doing what you're doing, working the way that you're already working. You don't have to quit your job. You can use the money you're already getting and the money you get from your side hustle to accelerate your wealth, because guess what? You can put it all back into your business, right? So let it be your first partner. So how do you do this? When you're navigating your 9 to 5, there's a few things that you do. One, you establish like dedicated business hours. And what I mean by that is we all have like a clock in us, how we work best. It's either morning or afternoon. You create a hour in the morning or hour in the afternoon that you can focus on your business, and you create 5 hours or so, 5 to 10 hours on the weekend that you can work on your business. When you're not working on your business, put it away. You don't have to work on your business. Only do it at that time. Put it in your calendar, just like you put everything else in your calendar. We also help you prioritize generating income activities and not doing a lot of busy work on your business. So help you define your offer, market your business, and engage with your potential clients in such a way that is generating income, not just doing stuff, but doing things with a purpose. And then the last way we do is help you batch content so you can You can dedicate some time to do it, 1 or 2 hours a week, help you post, schedule posts, use templates. I have a lot of different templates that I let my clients use so they know how to write emails and content and messaging. And then we leverage Calendly and my favorite, ChatGPT. So that's a way you can really just do it on the side, not having to hustle that 15, 20 hours like we said. So hopefully you got from me these key secrets recap. How to leverage your corporate skills to build a six-figure business using the boss method. How to, you don't need a big audience to get your client. How you get your first 10 to 20 clients, even from your network. And then using your 9 to 5 to grow your business, how you create time in your schedule for your business and work along with your side hustle so you can reinvest back into your business. So federal employees, I know this come up for you guys. How do I tell my boss I have a side hustle? What do I need to fill out? What paperwork? What do I need to do? Well, long as you understand the legalities of it and stay within ethics, you're okay. All of us have a HR ethics office, and you just go to them and you go, hey, I want to do a side hustle. How do I do that legally? It's a form. You fill the form out. You tell your supervisor about it. You say, hey, it's not going to interfere with what I'm doing. I can show you. This is when I'm going to actually be engaged in my business. It's on my schedule. It has nothing to do with my time at work. This is how I'm going to do it. And for those of you who have that AWS, you know what to do. Let that day be your day you do those 8 hours when you're on that AWS. That's what I do. And so you just fill that form out, you maintain compliance, and you ensure that you are working within compounds of your job. You're not doing anything that's a conflict of interest. That is something that working with me gives you an advantage because I understand that we can talk about as something that's a conflict of interest. And so that is how you do that. Don't overthink it, don't make it complicated. There's so many people out there who has a side hustle who are also federal employees. So don't let this stop you. Also, don't let it stop you of saying, hey, I don't really know how to monetize my expertise. We can let us teach you how to do that. I need clarity. Clarity comes when we figure out what it is that you were meant to do. And you don't want to lose decades and decades of experience. This is your moment really to walk into what is my purpose? What am I really here? What gives me fulfillment? What gives me joy? And this is a way to really walk into it and also give yourself the time and financial freedom that you want. So you don't lose any income or miss any legacy that you really want to do once you retire. You can just fill it back up. And then you also get the opportunity to transition out and work what we call a lifestyle business. You don't have to be the one that goes to $1 million. If you want to, you can, but you don't have to. You can do a lifestyle business where you can have the time and space to do what it is that you want to do. So don't let that stop you either. So I have a question for you. So if you had a choice of like going alone and doing all this by yourself, would you prefer to do it alone or would you prefer to have like guidance? Great. I see a lot of you want help. Well, good. Let me tell you a little bit about my 90-day online service launch program for federal women. So what do we do? Again, we craft your legacy vision. We look at it, we get clear on what it is you really want. And then we help you define your offer and how you're gonna really solve your ideal client problem. Who are they? Do I know them better than they know themselves? And if so, what is it that they really need that I can give them? So we really spend some time there. And then we create your framework. This is such a beautiful thing when I see people intellectual property come to life. We create your special sauce. What am I going to sell? How am I going to offer it? How do I take my whole body of work and turn it into something that is my sweet spot, that is what I'm really going to do for others? I love seeing that come to light. It's probably my favorite part of the process. And then how am I going to get it to them? How am I going to craft it? How am I going to, do I have a consistent marketing plan? We call it a consistent marketing plan that we do every month. How am I going to get it to them on social media and content? I have templates that help people get started on that. And then you just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It's a system, guys. It's not a secret. And then we talk about your sales. How do you get people who really want to buy what you offer? How do you get people to say yes to your offer? Well, we set up a very conversational, intuitive system where you're just having conversations with your ideal client. And if they want what you have, you really don't have to sell it. It'll sell itself. And then I help you guys launch. And then we do an action plan afterwards. As you guys always know, you got to have an action plan. Action plan helps you reach your goals and have better peak performance at the end of something. So we take you through this process in 90 days. When we put it all together, we craft your vision, assess where you are, design your offer, your framework, your marketing plan, and your content and social media. We help you set up your sales framework, help you cultivate leads beyond getting those first 5 clients, and help you with an action plan and then how to scale from there. That's what we do with you. So also I have these bonuses that I do, and people love this 90-minute strategy analysis session because we get deep into what they really have going on, their biggest problem. And we just spend 90 minutes on it until we get it right. And then I have a private community that you have for free for a year. And then after 30 days of us not working together, I come back and do a 30-minute follow-up to see how things are progressing. And for the next 48 hours, we have 35% off our package, which include private coaching where you personally work with me and I show you how to create this revenue to replace your income. So you can either quit your job or speed up your retirement. It's up to you how you want to do that. So for the next 48 hours, we're going to have 35% off that package. Why do I work one-to-one? I tend to work with very high achieving women. They're very busy and they love the one-on-one and the flexibility to be able to work at their pace. Guaranteed results, better than a money back. Right? So we have 12 sessions. We either work weekly or bi-weekly for those 12 sessions. So some is 90 days, some is 6 months, and you have lifetime access to the replays, to the workbooks, to the templates, all of that. These are other young ladies who use my method and were able to really thrive in the Boss Foundational method. I encourage you to do it too. So if you're interested, let's chat more. I'm going to put my link here down in the chat, and I want you guys to just give me a call, set up a call, let's chat more, see if we are right for each other, see if this is something you're interested in, and we will go from there. So I don't want you to go away from here saying, I'm too busy to do all of that. I'll get it later. I'm not good at that. I got stuff to do. I don't have the time. This is your moment right now to do what it is for yourself, for your family, for your dreams, for you, to do what it is that you want to do. So with that, I'm going to leave it open to questions. Anyone that has questions. How'd I do, Miss Rita?
So when you started your transition, how long or what was that leap like for you?
When I started my transition, Well, I told you for a while I was just sort of in this shiny objects syndrome,
Mhm.
doing everything. And then I realized what I really needed was a coach. So I think the most important thing for me that helped me go from, oh, I'm sort of out here just doing a lot of stuff, was actually hiring in someone invested in myself who could
Mhm.
say, who could take a really good objective look and go, this is why. This is what you're doing, of why you're sort of going in circles, why you're
Mhm.
sort of playing yourself. Do this first, do this second, do this third, and then
Mhm.
the clarity start to come. So